So this is October 2024. I'm Warspite the Wargamer, and this is my report on the Other Partizan. For those of you who don't know, Partizan run two shows each year. One in May, which is the main, strangely, Partizan show, and a second one in October, which is called, creatively, Other Partizan. You may have noticed I haven't put up many show reports in the last couple of weeks. That's partly due to the fact that Hereward, the Peterborough show, unfortunately cancelled due to problems beyond their control, and there will be no Selwyn report this year because that's also cancelled. So it might explain why Other Partizan was extremely busy, because customers that might have gone to Hereward chose to come to Other Partizan. So it was a big busy show. A lot of things going on. Luckily it wasn't too hot. I've been there on occasion, so I had to have all the doors open. Comfortable temperature, comfortable atmosphere, but it was busy. Again, my apologies to anybody whose table was not filmed. I can't do all of it. I can possibly get to between a third and half of the tables before either my battery runs out or my legs run out. So this is the Other Partizan, October 2024. And we're going to move on to the film now. So it's a Warspite the Wargamer production. If you enjoy this, please give us a thumbs up. And if you really enjoy it, please feel free to subscribe. Now on with the show. Right, here we are at the Other Partizan. It is October 2024 and the place is banged out and busy. Here we are in the centre of the Other Partizan. We'll do a decent panning shot. It was very busy getting in, and it's equally busy walking around. All the way into the distance over there, and then more behind us here. We've got the two fat lardies operating what they call the Lard zone. And here we are, indeed, right next to it. So it's the Lard zone at the Other Partizan Wargame show. Right, first table of the day. And this is the Boondock Sayntes, who I've seen before, and they're doing the Great War in East Africa. And for those of you who don't know, the Imperial Germans in World War I managed to hold their East African colonies for pretty much most of the war. They did a very good job on the guerrilla front. And what we have here is a sizable African village. Obviously colonial German buildings. British gunboat coming in there. British landing forces going in here. A little bit of a close-up on these ones that are unloading. Over here we should have various transports. They're obviously under fire because that's been knocked out. And I will swear, there it is there, I'll swear that's a Sopwith Baby or Sopwith Tabloid float plane. Yeah, should be.
Trigger a test, that, does it?
Very nice scratch-built armed merchant cruiser. Single funnel, 3-island design. Has what looks like a 12-pounder or a 4-inch on the bow. And looking away here, we've got a railway line stretching off into the African hinterland. Flying over there is a pusher engine fighter. So it could be an FE2, DH2, or maybe a Vickers gun bus. Africa didn't tend to get the best aircraft, so they got the less best aircraft and got them later. Right, try that again. We've got British landing forces here. We have a field hospital there, stretching away up here. Again, we've got a railway line extending into the African interior. And over here, what appears to be German-led native auxiliaries taking part in an attack on the British landing. The landing is supported by some decent British artillery. They look like 4.7s. And somewhere down here, just coming in a large hand. Just coming on a large hand. Lovely Rolls-Royce armoured car. Going to follow the railway line. And I did check on the aircraft over there. Did check on the aircraft. It's definitely a DH2. Pusher engined, single pilot at the front, single Lewis machine gun. Right, this is the Hustle Club, a group of friends that meet at various addresses, and they're doing the attack on Height 518. No, I hadn't heard of it either, but it's part of the Greek-Italian Wars of 1940 to 41. Over there we've got a Royal Hellenic aircraft, possibly a Polish-built one, engaging a Fiat CR32 or 42. Beneath, I'm assuming Greek forces on that side, over there, and Italian forces are assaulting the Greek position on Height 518, which appears to be being either heavily shelled or heavily smoked. Those are the Italian forces coming up there. They've got some light artillery down here and a few light vehicles, mostly infantry, and some sort of Italian light tank just being handled there. Oh yeah, and a couple of those really tinny little Italian light tanks over there. Let's hope it's not the one with the flamethrower. Apparently those little one-man, two-man tankettes, the flamethrower was so poor that if the wind was blowing back the other way, the flame fuel actually poured back over the shooting tank. Yeah, there they are, basically tin cans on tracks. One version had 2 machine guns, another version had a machine gun and a flamethrower. So the flamethrower was so weak that if there was a headwind, it could blow the fuel back over the tank. Greek artillery there. It looks like the Greeks are coming up with some motorised infantry as reserves. And once again, the Greek fighter is managing to cut up the Italian fighter quite nicely. And just beyond, there's some Greek heavy artillery. So this is the Hustle Club doing the rarely war-gamed
Greek-Italian Wars, 1940 to 41. Right, this is a Durham Wargames group, and that ahead of us is Troy. Not Troy McClure, that is actually Troy, the semi-mythical Trojan capital, and beneath us we have warfare in the heroic age. Very early chariots pulled by very small horses, maybe even mules, and line of infantry, line of skirmishers. Let's go in for a close-up. Gorgeous chariot models. Of course, many of these would have been crewed by individual hero types, and the idea was they would ride off, show off in front of the mere line soldiers and make a name for themselves. So we're talking Achilles, Hector, Ajax, Lysander, all great names. Bit of a close-up there. That could be Agamemnon. She's got a big banner of some sort flying over the top. And presumably somewhere over here we've got Paris. That's Paris the person, not Paris the country. So this is warfare in the heroic age. And the Trojan commander just said to me he's a bit worried in case there's some troops in that. Can't think where he got that idea. Couple of nice Greek galleys. Greek fortified camp. I'm going to swing round for another close-up on Troy from the other side. Right, this is Troy, close-up, although the interiors do look a little bit Minoan, but I'll forgive them for that one. And then down here we've got a stream of Trojan reinforcements coming out of the gate and heading down towards the main battle. Right, this is Spit Wargames, otherwise known as Stupid Projects in 28mm. And for some strange reason, I've got an overwhelming desire to whistle the Ride of the Valkyries. Can't possibly think why. Excuse me, sir. Can't possibly think why. Because they're doing Vietnam helicopter-borne troops. Further helicopter strike that falls there. And if we pan right around, there's more coming in from this side. Charlie won't know what hit him. Meantime, down here, nice peaceful Vietnamese village. Again, doesn't know what's about to hit it. Nice little bit of detail. There's even a female pig down there suckling some young. So it looks like a little bit of sweet and sour pork is going to be available tonight. Lovely French colonial building over there, and then more traditional native, I think they call them hoochies, over there. Meanwhile, one of the helicopters appears to have bought it. Growing up in the 60s and watching the Vietnam War on British television, I must admit I am fascinated by it. And engaged. But for some strange reason, I can't bring myself to wargame it. Once you see the footage of the Saigon police officer shooting the Viet Cong in the head, it sort of puts a whole new spin on the period. Nevertheless, these guys are doing a very, very good job. It's just not one I would do myself. Right, this is the group Mole and Friends, and they are presenting the Mexican-American War from the 1840s. We come down to here. We're now at tabletop level. We have a large Mexican-held town over there, complete with a very nice church, because obviously they're all good Catholics. And Mexican army drawn up on that side. Mexican artillery there. I believe some of the Mexican artillery was actually crewed by American or Irish deserters from the American army. Here we got Mexican cavalry. And what actually appears to be a group of vultures over there, over a group of civilians. Not quite sure what that's about. Here, some of the American units facing away from me. Another American unit there. American artillery there. And of course you have to remember that many of the great generals from the later American Civil War got their knees brown and their uniforms dusty fighting here in the 1840s. Of course Robert E. Lee was here, Grant was here, many of the major generals. So this is Mole and Friends, and they're presenting it as Old Rough and Ready or Old Fuss and Feathers, which I believe is nicknames of two of the generals. Right, we are with Derby Wargames Society, which is they, Operation Goodwood, the Battle for Brough, and of course the famous, or should we say infamous, railway embankment, which in some areas proved a complete obstacle to the British. Here, however, the British line of advance appears to be down the line of the railway line. Selection of Sherman armour here. Cromwell's M10s on the far side.
10 years ago,
I'm reliably informed these two Shermans here came a cropper from the Marder, which is hiding here. Marder was in an ambush position, but he's now been knocked out as well. We have a burning Stug that side of the embankment and an unburning Stug on the other. I'll move to the other end. This is the other end of the table, and now we've got a largely Cromwell unit. That one has a Challenger with it. Not sure about that. I wasn't sure if the Challengers didn't come in a bit later, sort of following month, but there you go. They've got one. Stuart light tank's been knocked out, possibly by that anti-tank gun there. And Tempest over there, barreling in with rockets and cannon. And the rest of the Cromwells, including what appears to be a Cromwell or Centaur ARV, armoured recovery vehicle, coming down the road. Not quite sure of the story on that one. I'm presuming it's a decorative feature, but can't see it shooting from there. And it it appears to be fixed to the base. And of course the obligatory French outside toilet. No battlefield is complete without one. Another German SP gun there. Over there, that's the unknocked out Sturmgeschütz. And then far end, a sight that would warm the cockles of my late father's heart. A pair of M10 17-pounders. My dad was with 86 Anti-Tank Gun Regiment, Royal Artillery, and they had 2 batteries, the M10s, and 2 batteries of towed 17-pounders, initially towed by quads and later towed by Crusader gun tractors. Right, Staffordshire and South Cheshire Wargamers, and we are unmistakably American Civil War. Large column of Union troops coming up the road here. Just there. Got the old snake rail fence beside them. They're obviously expecting a flank attack as one unit's facing the other way. We have Zouaves or Zouaves in skirmish formation spread out across there. Then off in the distance we have advancing columns of Confederates heading for the initial skirmish line of Union on that side. Some artillery deployed over here. Yeah, some artillery, not much. And I can't, oh yeah, got it. Couldn't see where the Confederate artillery was. There's a large battery, almost a grand battery up on the hillside there. That could do a lot of damage. Oh, a lot of artillery. There's more behind that guy's arm. Yeah. So it looks like an encounter action. Union have been advancing from this side and suddenly run into what looks like three Confederate brigades. The third one's over there. But at the moment, the Union do appear to have the larger number of troops. And I do believe that's the Union CNC. So this is South Staffordshire and Cheshire Wargamers. Right, this is the club known as the Bodkins. Very long table, and they're doing a game based or inspired by events of the Battle of Zorndorf, which is 1758. So I suspect this is sometime in the 7 Years' War.
Well, see, I think, you know, that was no problem.
Nice bit of cavalry. And the castle over here. Castle's a lovely bit of kit. Essentially a medieval outer wall, and in the centre, in front of the keep, a sort of a single bastion. Looks like it started life as a bulwark, and it's been developed into a full 16th, 17th century bastion. Tower looks very nice. Yeah, done a nice job on that one. So this is the Bodkins, based on the Battle of Zorndorf, 1758. Nice, very nice village. Gorgeous little Orthodox church there with an onion dome, and some very nice half timber. Now we have the barely legal Wargamers. I trust they are legal. And we are dealing with the American Civil War in paper. And down we go. This is the old cardboard cutout figures. You don't get much visual effect if you view them sideways on, because obviously they are literally paper thin. If you view them from the front, they can look quite spectacular. And there's an example of a Confederate unit in that churchyard. And these figures are actually supplied in sheets like this from the paper boys, and you literally cut around them carefully. They are double-sided, so you cut out the two sides and glue them down the centre, and you get a fairly robust. It goes from that to that to that. No painting, just a lot of very careful scalpel work. And they're actually doing the Battle of Salem Church, 3rd to the 4th of May 1863. So it's the barely legal Wargamers using paper figures from paper boys. This is the Iron Brigade, and they are doing 28mm American Civil War to their own rules, which are called Bonnie Blue Flag. And the Bonnie Blue Flag rules are there, down there, and here we have some of the figures he's using. 28mm Confederate, 28mm Confederate again, and over here, advancing behind a skirmish screen, we have Union artillery and best part of a column of Union infantry. So this is the Iron Brigade, Bonnie Blue Flag rules, 28mm in counteraction. Q. Right, Shrewsbury Wargame Society, and they're doing something in the fantasy realm. Let's have a look. Unless my eyes deceive me, they are playing Mortal Gods. So we are well in the realms of fantasy. Nice vineyard there. Yes, looks like early hoplite or hoplite type troops over there, and somewhere over here, somebody called Zeus is up there on a cloud, about to start chucking thunderbolts about, and the cloud's even flashing. Meanwhile, the wine is being trodden over there, because they're going to get pissed afterwards. Oh, yep. As I said, getting pissed afterwards. So we got, looks like fantasy era Greeks. And more there. And the rules are called Mortal Gods. Skirmish Wargames Collective, and my daughter was well impressed with this. Oh, by the way, she's here, but she's off doing an encounter game somewhere else. This is set on a film set, as it were. So we've got a film set style Chinese markety area over here, and a sort of a more urban American, I'd say 1920s, 1930s, by judging from the vehicles. And skirmish game, I'm assuming set in Prohibition period. So let's find out where the booze is. Boat shed, or no, it's a boat shed. Nice sedan. outside of Mars New Diner. Although a very creative spelling of burger. But who knows, maybe that's how it was spelt originally. The buildings are fascinating. And when you go around the back of them, they're mainly made from Lego, which I think is a really clever idea. In fact, you can actually see the Lego here. So, clever idea, great front, but Lego back. So this is the Skirmish Wargames collective down in Chinatown. Yeah. I did catch this one on the way through earlier on. I said it was Prohibition period, I was right. And they're actually calling it Skirmish Games Presents Pima County 1923. And this is the one that features the buildings that are actually constructed from Lego. Of course, knowing me, I'll probably put this on first and then confuse the hell out of everyone. This has got the Chinese set there and sort of urban town arrangement, but again, many of those buildings are actually built with Lego and then painted up. So after a nice long break in the nearby town of Newark, getting some lunch and walking around Newark Castle, we are back with Steve's Painting Shed presents Assault on Old Point Comfort, which is an American War of Independence, Franco-American forces this end, English forces coming in the other way. Lovely star fort, which is at the Franco-American end. Got some horse coming down the track there. And then the main firefight is taking place over here. Massive exchange of fire between at least 2.5 lines of French and Americans and a solid almost 3 lines of English redcoats. And it looks like the English redcoats are breaking through there. Offshore, we got the river or sea where they've been disembarking. There's more troops still coming ashore. So this is Steve's Painting Shed presents Assault on Old Point Comfort. And a final view of the ships here from Steve's Painting Shed, and this is the Assault on Old Point Comfort. English troops coming ashore here. English have dug in their own light fort here. And beyond it looks like a mixture of English and Hessian troops, hence the blue. And a rather fetching New England town over there. I even like the lighthouse arrangement. That's quite stunning, that. Yeah, I like that. Right, we're at the First Corps table, and they are doing a section of Gold Beach on D-Day. We've got the beach is actually not represented. The beach is actually behind me, but we're in the sort of sandy duney bit behind. Line of Dragon's Teeth, concrete anti-tank obstacles going across there. One pillbox there, and then further back, the actual guns themselves. Now, another looks like a flak position there. And on the coast road over here, just emerging from the buildings, we've got Sherman DDs. You can tell they're DDs because they've got the collapsed screen around them. Yes, it does look like it was a flak, meant as a flak position, never finished. We've got a quad flak veering there. Looks like an Opel Blitz parked up there, actually a second one, and a mortar over there. further view of the Sherman DDs coming down the coast road, or the road from the coast, with infantry deployed behind them. And more troops there. And it looks like that pillbox has actually been overrun by the British. Certainly one of the most spectacular games here today comes from the bunker, and they have produced effectively a slice through a Japanese town during the samurai period, and this has got to be in excess of 20 feet long, possibly knocking on for 25 feet long. I'm going to do a close-up from that end and pan down. There is a lot of building. A lot of building. Gorgeous colours. Nice attention to detail. And over here, again, great set of drums there. I said great. Sorry, I'm narrating. Sorry. Great set of drums there, and this table just extends all the way up to there. I've come to the other end of the table. I'm now panning across. Gorgeous samurai dwelling there. What looks like a temple here. Unless I miss my guess, I think this is meant to be a river in front of us. But again, a lot of handsome detail gone into this. Yeah. 28mm looks gorgeous. Not my period, but respect to them for doing it. Another sight which would have warmed the cockles of my late father's heart. Rocket firing typhoons, striking of what appears to be a massive Allied column coming up through the Netherlands, Holland. They've clearly taken hits. I've got a funny suspicion this might be the attempt to break into the Arnhem cauldron. Down here we've got Nebelwerfer 41, Moaning Minnie, Screaming Mimi, or the British and Canadians tended to call them Sobbing Sisters. German motorcycle troops hiding behind these buildings here. And the lead vehicles of the Allied column, Shermans, 2 lead 75s, the 17-pounder, which will be the troop sergeant, is sitting back in Overwatch, and then behind you've got universal carriers, Sherman dozer to get anybody off the road who's burning, etc., etc. A lot of very, very nice models. Someone's clearly put some effort into this. Now, I need to now find out which club it was. And the answer to the question I just asked myself, this is Old Pikey's Gaming Group. And I'm sure this is an Arnhem related game, but I haven't asked the organiser. Yeah. In fact, I'm just checking the actual information. Always nice to read it. It is the 30 Corps breakout from Operation Market Garden. And stream of Allied vehicles, mostly Shermans, going up the road. And I'm almost inclined to think this is the scene from A Bridge Too Far, when Michael Caine's shouting, "Bomb on the purple, bomb on the purple," and there's the purple, and there's the typhoons who are meant to be bombing on it. So yes. Pikey's old Pikey's gaming group, and this is the 30 Corps breakout from Operation Market Garden. Right, this is a personal favourite of mine. This is a very British Civil War. I have featured them at other events, and the idea is that sometime during the period of the Spanish Civil War, a similar civil war breaks out in Britain. So you've got forces of left and right, anarchists, Mosleyite fascists, etc. Plenty of extemporised weapons. Again, just like the Spanish Civil War, make a tank out of nothing. Scale is 28mm. I see that someone managed to get hold of a French Saumur, which I see hiding down there. But if you've got any figures for Dad's Army, etc., ideal for this. Yep. So you can actually lead a unit of the Salvation Army in this game, and they do fight. I bet they're handy with the tambourines as well. So this is straining the train on the drain by the very British Civil Forum, which is the very British Civil War rules. I've seen these good people before. This is big on strategy. They're doing a relatively small but interesting game called A Whiff of Grape. In fact, I've bumped into them at a couple of events before. Earlier on, they had my daughter playing here, and the table's still standing, so I assume she didn't wreck it. She thoroughly enjoyed the game and thoroughly enjoyed playing with the members. So, yes. So this is big on strategy, A Whiff of Grape. Right, and I forgot to mention, this is in 54mm, hence the size of the figures compared to people's hands. So it's 54mm. I'm 99% certain that's the 95th Rifles coming in there. And apparently one of the objects may be the asses, and a subtitle to the game is Hands Off My Ass. Can't beat that, can you? So this is big on strategy, A Whiff of Grape. Can't go past without mentioning Wings of Glory. It's a game that I'm quite keen on myself. Well, I'm quite keen on the models, but I've got certain criticisms of the rules. And this is their triplanes and tripods, or tripods and triplanes subset. The theory here is that H.G. Wells's Martians land during the middle of World War I, and the British and Germans have to join forces to defeat the invading Martians. I've bought the aircraft. I've got a large collection, about 100 aircraft, but personally I decided to pass on the Martians. I'm very fond of the story, but just not with aircraft. That looks like a DH4, if I miss my guess. Yeah, de Havilland DH4. So it's tripods and triplanes, or triplanes and tripods, from the Wings of Glory group. This is Doncaster Gentlemen Gamers, and I always have a soft spot for any version of this game. This is the Pegasus Bridge over the River Orne in Normandy, June 6, 1944. Now, the reason I have a soft spot for this is that my mother's brother, my late uncle, was a member of the 6th Airborne and a member of the Ox and Bucks Light Infantry. As far as we can establish, he didn't take part in the primary drop, but he may have dropped either on a secondary target or came in the follow-up wave. Unfortunately, he was mortally wounded later in the month, so we never got to find out from him firsthand what he did. But anyway, so it's the Pegasus Bridge. As some of you may know, the bridge has now been moved and it's now standing in a field roughly where I am. The entire bridge was lifted up wholesale. Over there is the cafe, which famously claims to be the first building in France liberated by the Allies, and it's still known as the Pegasus Cafe. So this is Doncaster Gentlemen Gamers. There's their sign over there, and they're doing Pegasus Bridge, June 6, 1944. Right, these gentlemen are Grantham Strategy Club, doing a very interesting game. It's called Undaunted. Clearly based on the Battle of Britain. We have barrage balloons, various types of fighters and bombers, Spitfire, Hurricane. I can see HE-111s, both on fire. That's what we like to see. And there's a 109. There's a 109 out over there, flying over a town. And the HE-111 that's on fire is there. And he's heading towards the barrage balloon. The game they're playing is Undaunted by David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin. So that's Grantham Strategy Club doing Undaunted. Right, this is Burton and District Wargamers doing a very interesting fantasy game. How interesting? Have a look. This is Monsters and Magic, and they've got a very serious giant over there. Various armies of goblins, orcs, etc. Eagle versus a giant spider. What's this? Elves routing. That shouldn't happen. And then away in the distance, all manner of things engaged in vicious combat. Very brightly coloured. The wings on that dragon are particularly nice. But I've got to say, the giant, someone has put some very, very careful work into painting that giant. So this is the Burton and District, M2 Monsters and Magic. Yeah. What have we got down here? What are they? Can't tell what they are. But they grin a bit. Yeah. One more look at the dragon. Yes. Very nice. Appropriately located next to the Northampton Battlefield Society, Trust, whatever. We also have my own organisation, the Lance and Longbow Society. One of our members earnestly reading one of our books. Lance and Longbow has a number of publications covering heraldry. We have our own set of wargame rules called Poleaxed. One of the most popular books we produce is Standards, Badges and Livery Colours of the Wars of the Roses. That's a sort of go-to if you're doing colours and standards. Variety of other books. We have a Towton walk map, and over there in the distance our famous flag sheets. So you can, instead of going boss-eyed trying to paint a flag, you get one of ours and stick it around your wire flagpole. So this is the Lance and Longbow Society. You can find us online. Right, I'm not sure if my battery is going to hold up for this, but we're with the Northamptonshire Battlefields Society. They are doing the Battle of Edgecote 1469, which is down here in what looks like 28mm. They have also produced a new booklet, which is this one, Edgecote 1469. I shall place it down there quickly, which contains further information on the battlefield, and this book supplements the earlier booklet, which is that one there. You can see two of them. I've got the brown one already, but the green one covers further and newer information. And this is the Northamptonshire Battlefield Society, a group well worth supporting. And my battery is about to go.
Partizan 2025 will be held next year on Sunday, May 25, 10 AM to 4 PM at the Newark Showground. I'm sure the Partizan organiser would like me to mention that. It's a cracking event, and if you want to see what previous events have looked like, please feel free to go back into my video files on YouTube. I've featured them now 2 or 3 times.
This has been a Warspite production. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a thumbs up. If you've really enjoyed it, please feel free to subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next time. This is Warspite out, and have a very good day.